frustrated really. I thought there was lots of things that we went out there. We tried to be positive in the way that we played, and I think we showed glimpses of that in terms of the way we started. We probably should have been 20 points up. And then, we're guilty ourselves. We'll put our hands up, and then some things that we need to be better at. I thought pretty unlucky on a couple of calls that have gone against us, which hasn't helped as well. So yeah, we're frustrated because it was definitely a game that was gone out there to target to win, and we've come up a bit short.
After the start, the first 20 minutes, did you think that you were really in that game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with the things that we were trying to do, we were trying to mix it up. Like I said, we talked about wanting to move their big forwards around and look to take their legs off them. I think we're getting some success from our drive, and then we got some nice success out of some of the attacking shape that we've been looking to play from, and we created some space. We've scored that first try, and on a couple of other occasions we've the Tommy Rafael yellow card is again sort of we've created opportunities. So for me there's a number of positives in terms of that, and just speaking in change rooms, we should be disappointed, but boys have worked hard in the last couple of weeks, and we've got to get back on the horse on Tuesday and tidy up some of the things that are going to help improve us.
How much your loss was Mason Grady, given that you had the 60 bench?
Other teams get away with it, and we all of a sudden, we have a 6-2 split, and we talked about one position where we potentially a little bit exposed, could be on the wing, and we lose Mason pretty early in the game, so it was a little bit tough for us, but and difficult for Sam to have to go on there and cover us for quite a length of the game. So
how is Mason?
He's got an ankle injury at the moment, so I'm not too sure how bad it is, so probably need to be scanned tomorrow.
Fiji started out get well second half. Did you think you'd get back into it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that was we thought we knew we were going to get some opportunities, and we knew that given the chance and some quality set piece, we could create those chances. But knowing what Fiji are like, I mean, they hang in the game, and they throw the ball around, and then they get excited by those sorts of things, and they were able to do that on a couple of occasions to put us under pressure. And like I said, we've created chances and been a little bit unlucky with a couple of calls as well.
Given that it's a rejuvenated Australia and South Africa to come, where's that elusive win coming from, do you think?
Well, hopefully next week, because it was supposed to be today. Yeah. So, we need to understand, been around for long enough to understand that Test match rugby is about performing, about winning, but trying to take a little bit of pressure off this group of players to give them, that they don't feel too much pressure themselves, that they have that confidence to go out and be accurate and play. And I thought there were lots of good things out there today that we can build on for next week without, feeling like the world's caving in or the heavens are caving in on you. That sort of stops you from being able to go out there and play and express yourself. And there's probably one or two moments there where players, when they look back and say, no, look, if I was a little bit more accurate, or I had got my hands and got the ball away and stuff, that we could have created opportunities. So, but in fairness to the boys, that's the first thing they'll do, and they'll look at their own performances and see where they can be better for next week.
You said about results, well, when this is a 10th international loss on the bounce, you know the record. Do you feel that your position as well as under head coach is under threat?
Well, you can write about that. So the pressure doesn't come from, it comes externally. It comes basically from the media, because that's a narrative that you create, and that's okay from where I sit. So you'd have to take. I honestly believe, and we've said for the last 12 months since the World Cup, in terms of the number of players and the experience that we've lost since the World Cup, that we were going to invest in a group of youngsters that we felt that we could build with and take us on, and we've seen a lot of development from those youngsters, and we've said that we need a little bit of patience, a bit of time, but I understand that Test match rugby is about performing, about winning. So you you control the narrative and write what you want, and I'll see what happens there.
Finally, what did you make of that Australian side compared to the one you faced in the summer?
It was a bit hard to read, really, because they showed some real courage, and they were under the pump again that first 15 minutes and scored and got back into it. And it was a pretty topsy-turvy game in terms of points that were scored and the number of points, and England being in front and then Australia coming back and scoring. So, we'll see how, once we've had a closer look at that game and that performance, how we prepare for next week.
We had a narrow defeat there. What's the feeling amongst the squad about that?
Yeah, obviously frustration, disappointment. As Gat said, there was a lot of opportunities out there for us. Disallowed try in the first half. A couple of forward passes when we're over the line in the second, but probably just discipline cost us in the end. We talk about being under 10 penalties, or at least winning the battle of the penalty count, and we didn't do that today. They kicked a lot of points off the boot, and we gave them too many ins.
Warren, the 20-minute red card is obviously something new. I think that was the first one today. How did you think, obviously, it impacted the game? What's your take on it? I know you said before that you didn't in favour of it.
Yeah, I'm in favour if it's seen to be deemed as not being reckless and or deliberate, but the only thing I can say about that is that there's no arms used in there. He's gone with the shoulder, and it's been head-to-head contact. So that's where they need to make the decision on, was it, if he's gone to wrap his arms, and I think if you do that and you catch someone high, I can see how it can be a 20-minute red card, but they've got to deem whether it's foul play that of a certain standard. So I think it keeps the game alive, and it's probably given Fiji an opportunity to get back in the game, and I don't see that as being bad for the game.
Yeah.
Hi, Warren. Obviously, we went for a 6-2 split today, and Mason goes off injured early, had to rejig the back line. Do you reckon that's going to maybe discourage you from continuing with the 6-2 split going forward? Or?
Probably. Yeah, we're going to get a bit of bad luck. It had happened today, so So probably the wrong player's gone on as a replacement as well, because we talked about Alice Bevan going on there. So we had which probably didn't we had to deal with as well. Yeah, difficult. So. We had a long debate about that and a long discussion about the 6-2 split. And I said, first time you do that, and then you get caught pretty early on losing the one position where you're a little bit vulnerable.
Coming to Matt at the back.
Sorry, Warren, just to clarify that, you said the wrong player went on. Did you intend to put Ellis on and Sam got on? Or is it just in hindsight? You think
Alice is supposed to go on, yeah.
Is that a breakdown in communication yourself and the people on the touchline?
I need to get to the bottom of that. So we were talking and said if we're going to put Alice on, and then Sam's run on the field. So I think he may have assumed that he was the person going on. We'd already had those discussions with Alice. So if we do lose a winger, you're going to need to cover us there.
Just reflecting on this, over the next few days, do you intend to be as sort of honest and upfront with the players as you would normally be, given the group that you've got?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that one thing about this group is they're pretty honest with themselves, and they'll put their hand up and they'll look at moments when they could have been a little bit more accurate, when they could have potentially worked a bit harder. And there'll be times there when we need to fix up a couple of things defensively at half time, when we showed players where probably our kick chase could have been a little bit better. We've just stopped a little bit and then allowed them to have a crack at us rather than being much more aggressive and shutting space down. So those are fixes for us that which we'll be able to rectify. But the players are pretty aware of that, and they'll look at their own performance and where they could have been better, and collectively where we could have been better.
Okay, we have time for one last question in English with Rob, and then we'll move to Welsh.
Dewi, I was just going to ask, as disappointing as this is, you've got 2 more games, you've got to pick yourself up now, you've got to go again, and this won't scar you, I'm sure. How do you lead the lads on now and get up for what's an even bigger game next week?
Yeah, I think it's important that, this hurts and we, use that to fuel us. The good thing about this game is you get an opportunity to rectify the loss next week. So yes, we spoke that, let it hurt for a day, but then, when we come back in, it's important that we're ready to go and we're tight as a group, ready for Australia, and we know the threat that they're going to bring. 2 tight games in the summer, but yeah, for us, as Gat said, about getting back on the horse and going again, because this group has got talent and we created the opportunity, so it's about those little fix up for us and taking it into Australia.
Thank you.
Kenneth?
With your